Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We have been to the Mennonite store today to get a few things. I thought I'd show you guys what we picked up while we were there. Mom and I went down, and then we are going to probably get to some cucumbers that we have. They're kind of running over right now. We're going to try to pickle some with just a bread and butter recipe. If pickles are life for you, leave me a pickle emoji down below, okay? Hook me up with that. For what we got at the Mennonite store, I've had trouble finding just regular old cornmeal at the grocery. It hasn't been around. I don't know what's going on, so I got some of that. I don't use a lot of it, but I have been making that no-knead bread, and I'd like to have some to throw underneath it just to give it a little bit different texture. And on that bottom where it gets real crusty, I thought it would be a nice texture to use. The other thing that I got was some powdered buttermilk. Deanna needed some of this, and I was close there, so I grabbed her a bag of it, and I grabbed me some. We needed mustard seed for our pickles that we're going to do today, so I got this thing of mustard seed. This was $5.12. I was out of mustard seed, so we had to have that. Then we also picked up a couple of packets of these Mrs. Wages. I had one, and then Mom ended up getting a couple more for us with these tomatoes. We don't know exactly what we're going to use just yet, but we got a pizza sauce, chili base. Each one of these packs makes 5 pints, and I feel like this might be a nice one to have on the shelf in the wintertime. I don't know. The other one that we did was just some mild salsa. And I'm excited about these. Now, we have, I think, everything to make the salsa ourselves, but this is just real easy. We've done it before. We haven't done the pizza sauce or the chili base before, so I'm excited to still have those. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our vanilla. I got our vanilla beans. There were 26 in here. I'm going to put about 6 or 7 in each jar. These are the jars that we're going to let it set in. These were from Aldi, and they had a French lemonade in them, and they seal up really nicely on there. They lock in really good. So we're going to put our vanilla and our rum in here and get our vanilla setting. I'm going to get things spin around, and we'll go ahead and get started on this, and then we will work on cucumbers. Okay, so first things first, we've got our vanilla beans. I bought these on Amazon. There were 26. These were Tahitian. I was trying to make sure I either got Tahitian or Madagascar vanilla beans. And I said I was going to put 6 or 7, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put 10 in each one, just to make sure we get a lot of that flavor. So we just drop these in. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They smell really vanilla-y. They smell like fake vanilla, like it's so strong. It smells like a candle or something. That is terrifying. So we're gonna get 10 of these. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. I have 2 jars, 10 vanilla beans. This is when I can make a mess with things. We're pouring this rum straight in, and then it's going to sit for like 6 weeks, and it's going to be ready to go. So that worked out perfect. That actually used quite a bit. Do you guys think, let me know down below if you think that I should go back in here and add a couple more vanilla beans to this. I have the beans. I can absolutely do it. I have 10, and I wish I had paid attention to the label first to see how many ounces was in this jar or these bottles before I did this. But look, it used almost this whole giant bottle. This was 1.75 liters, and yeah, so I've used probably a liter. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna let these sit. I'm probably gonna add more. I'm probably gonna add a couple more vanilla beans. What did we add? 10. Let's add. I had 26. So let's just use all these vanilla beans. I think I got more than 26 in this from Amazon, so that's a nice treat. Let's start out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 4. Ooh. That one's full to the tippy top. I'm going to have to pour a little bit of that off. And then, yeah, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with what we've done there. Let me pour just a little bit of this off, and we'll get these out of the way. I'm just going to set these up in a cabinet where I'm not going to think about them. One other thing I meant to tell you guys is you can reuse these beans after, ooh, good gracious, after you let this sit for a little while, and you know it's got your vanilla. Once you've used all this, you can reuse these beans. They're totally fine. You can get another batch of vanilla out of them. Yeah, I have a mess now. Let me go clean this up. Can you see these cucumbers? They are so perfect. They look like really great pickles, right? They're just raw right now. Who wants that? Mom's over here raising her hand because she wants that. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim off the blossom end, I think. And like this one's got kind of some rough spots there, and I'll trim that off. But for the most part, we are pretty much just going to run these through the food processor to slice them. And then we'll get to pickling them. I've got this set. It's not on the widest slice, but it's on one of the more wide slices. It's more wide than thin. Oh, I didn't plug it in. Okay, it should work now. Yeah. I don't know. As it went down in there, it got kind of lopsided. Let's see. It won't fit in that smaller hole. I don't know. We're going to play around with this for a sec. Take a look at this, Mom, and see what you think. See how it's slicing them like this?
Oh.
You want...
I mean,
is that okay with
should,
you?
Yeah, they should taste the same.
I mean, yeah, they should.
Now let me try one.
Do you want to test one? Make sure that cut didn't change the way it tastes.
Very good.
Like, do you think it'll be okay for pickles like that, or would you rather that I just cut them myself?
No, I think that'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, we're going back in. We're rolling with it, guys. Okay, you don't have to watch all of this. I'm going to get through these cucumbers and we'll see how many we have when we're done. I didn't even get the whole colander done. I still have this half of one to go. It was too wide to fit through the feeding tube. And it's full. This is 13 cups. It's full. I'm going to dump this out. Excuse me. I'm going to dump this out and into another bowl. And I might go ahead and just do a few more. We have them. We might as well get them done. I've shown you guys how cool this food processor is, but I know I've just shown you, but I don't know that you've gotten to see it in action. So I'm going to take the lid off, make a lot of noise, and take this blade out. Then when I want to take this off, there's no twisting, locking, or anything. My hands are wet. I just washed some more cucumbers. I'm literally just going to lift this off. And let's bring you down so you can see. We're just going to dump them in there. This thing does kind of flop around a little bit. That's no big deal. And it just sits right back on there. These look good. I mean, like, some of them are a little thin. This is a little paper thin. You can kind of see through it there, but it's a pickle, man. It's still going to be delicious. All right, I'm going to do the rest of these cucumbers that I have ready to go, and then we're going to move on to the next step. I don't remember what it is. I have to check the recipe. Well, because I can't plan things well, I forgot I had to sterilize my jars. So those are in the dishwasher. I just ran them through on the 1 hour cycle, and they are running through. I do have to get a couple onions chopped up. I'll do those. I wanted to show you what recipe and what book we're using. So it is this Better Homes and Gardens Complete Canning Guide. That's what we've got today. And this is just a bread and butter pickle recipe. It's really similar to the recipe that my grandmother used. I think if you have a family recipe, it's going to be probably pretty similar to this. But you know, I'm not going to follow it all the way. I never do. This says to get your onions and your cucumbers sliced up and then let them sit with ice over top of them for 3 to... how many hours? 3 to 10 hours. We're not going to do that. That just helps make sure that you have a crispy pickle. I have this pickle crisp that we're going to be using. Extra crunch is what it's called. We're going to use that. It's going to be fine. The directions for this recipe are... take these off. You guys know I can't see with these on. 16 cups of sliced cucumbers, 8 medium white onions. We are not using anywhere near that amount of white onions. We're using 2. But they came out of the garden. You guys, we grew the cucumbers ourselves, the onions ourselves, and the garlic. I'm super excited that the main ingredients in here we grew. Obviously the vinegar I bought, and the spices, I bought those. But yeah, that's really exciting that for the most part, this is homegrown. I love that so much. So anyway, we're using 2 onions. I'm going to slice those up. I should have done that in the food processor, but I was trying to get the jars in and get the dishwasher started, and part of the food processor is in there, part is not. I'm just going to slice the onions. It's not a big deal. We need a 1/3 cup pickling salt. Again, you can't use regular iodized salt when you're canning. Don't do it. I have plenty of pickling salt because one year I accidentally bought like 3 bags. It was last year that I accidentally bought 3 bags. Anyway, 3 cloves of garlic, 4 cups of sugar, 3 cups of cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons mustard seeds, 1.5 teaspoons celery seed, and 1.5 teaspoons ground turmeric. I couldn't find my grandma's recipe, but like I said, this is basically the exact same recipe. Hers you just did in the refrigerator. These we're actually going to water bath these. It says this recipe will make 7 pints because we went heavier on the cucumbers, but not as heavy on the onions. I think it's going to even out, but I've got all 7 jars in the dishwasher just to be safe. So I can take it easy real quick. I'm going to get the onions sliced up. I'm going to show you guys these onions because we grew them and I'm so proud of them. We're going to get the onions sliced up, and then we'll come back once the jars are ready and we're able to move forward with heating up the solution on the stovetop. I really like bread and butter pickles. Like, normally I'm a Vlasic kosher dill girl. I don't want to mess with making dill pickles at home because I don't like them. I like Vlasic kosher dills. I buy the giant jars from Walmart. Sam's used to carry the gallon jugs. They've stopped, so I'm really genuinely upset at Sam's. Now they've got another brand. I don't like them as much. So anyway, for my everyday dill pickles, I'm sticking with the Vlasic. But I really enjoy a bread and butter pickle. I think they're delicious, and when I start eating them, I cannot stop. I'm telling you guys, I am a pickle junkie. My brother's the same way. Like, they're so good. I don't know if he likes bread and butter. If you have a preference between bread and butter and dill pickles, let me know down below. What's your preference? Or if you've got a certain brand that you just live and die by, let me know that too. If you've made it this far, leave me a thumbs up down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to finish getting this wrapped up, and we're going to get a really loud dishwasher. We are going to get these onions chopped up, and then we're going to wait for the dishwasher to finish so that we can get on with this project. So this onion I just went outside and picked. I washed it off. We're going to get it cleaned up a little bit more. But this one we grew. This one I picked a few days ago. It's had a little bit of time to cure, but again, we're going to go ahead and get it trimmed up. And these are good size onions. They smell delicious. I'm just really thrilled with them. There's an ant on my cutting board. Let me clean this off. This looks like it was 2 onions. You can see that line in the middle there. Using this Better Homes and Gardens cookbook or recipe book for, yeah, it's a cookbook, sorry. So anyway, I'm using this Better Homes and Gardens book for this recipe, and Mom and I today were talking about, do you know that red and white checker, like a plaid tablecloth covered Better Homes and Gardens cookbook that everybody had? I have one of those too. Mom was talking about that we had one, and she said she didn't know where hers was, and I said, well, Deanna had grabbed me a copy because we didn't know where ours was. Deanna had gotten me an extra copy second hand. I think she forgot she had one or got a second copy. I don't remember, but anyway, we have that now too. I'm trying to cut these, I say fairly thin. That was a pretty thick slice that I just did as I was running my mouth. But I am trying to cut these on the thin side until I make a mess. Cut these however thick you want them. It doesn't matter. My goodness, I'm on the struggle bus today. This isn't my usual knife either, and so I'm like, oh, I don't know how to hold this thing. Anyway, that's fine. It doesn't matter. While Mom and I were driving around today, we went down to the Amish community, and we got a couple of veggies there. She got some cantaloupe, and I got, well, she paid for it. I didn't have any cash. Anyway, we got some cantaloupe and some sweet corn at the Amish community today. Oh, this one's got a little bit of a bad spot in it. That's okay. We'll cut that out, and we won't use that side. No big deal. But so as we were driving around, I was looking to see how they've got their onions curing, because it's time to pick our onions. And I don't know what to do with them after we get them out of the garden. I don't know how to set them out. I didn't know if I should set them in that old garage that is very open. There's a lot of ventilation. I didn't know if I should do that. And oh wow, these old folks are just yelling like I'm not videoing over here. Anyway, I didn't know if I should put them in that garage and just put like a fan on them. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut a few slices out of this one too and get rid of that bad spot. So we're almost done here. The dishwasher is not close to being done. Anyway, if you have recommendations on how to cure your onions, let me know. Hook me up. I could use some tips. I'm going to crush up, it says 3 cloves. I might go ahead and go for a few more. It says to cut these in half. I'm just kind of mashing them so they're breaking up into smaller bits. I'm going to get at least 3, probably 4 or more. Why would I just do 4? I don't know. I'm going to do 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. And then we're just having to wait for the dishwasher after that. I'm so excited about this garlic. It came out of the garden. And it's just bruised where I mashed it right there. But, yeah. We're regrouping yet again. I don't know why I do this. I should have just looked for a recipe that didn't call for putting ice on top of my cucumbers for 3 hours. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to skip that step, but I got to looking, and that's where the canning salt process comes in. So I have those in a pot. I have some ice sitting on top of them. I'm going to let it sit for a few hours and see what happens, I guess. In the meantime, I'm going to look online and see what other recipes I can find, if I can maybe salvage this without having to wait 3 hours before I start canning. Just as an update, I couldn't find any other recipe. We're going to wait 3 hours, about 2.5 now, for the ice on these cucumbers and onions, and there's a little bit of garlic in there too. I have everything else done and ready to go. We're just waiting right now. So we'll come back after 3 hours and we will start this process of actually canning. All right, this is our pot of cucumbers and onions, and it's been sitting. I had the ice in it. It's been sitting for 3 hours. So we're going to get this drained and move over to the stove. I have all of our ingredients for the solution. We're going to get that in a pot and get that boiling. Okay, so we are back, and I just used the pot that I let the cucumbers soak in. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm going to turn this heat on, and I have our vinegar and sugar and all our spices. You can still see there's like some onions and stuff still in there. It's not a big deal. So the original recipe called for 3 cups of vinegar, and you can see a dog there. I decided to double this recipe by half. So instead of 3 cups, I used 4.5 cups of vinegar. And same with everything else, I just doubled it by 1.5 because I was afraid that I wasn't going to have enough liquid to fill the jars once I got this started. These are our spices. This is turmeric, celery seed, and mustard seed. And we're going to add our sugar. This has a lot of sugar. That's probably why it's good. The original recipe had 4 cups of sugar because we doubled it by half. This is 6 cups of sugar. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to add our cucumbers and onions back into this. It did say to remove any garlic that was in with the cucumbers. I think I got most of that out. I haven't found any. If I see any, I'll just pick it out as we go. This solution, that the pickling liquid in this reminds me a lot of the liquid that I use for the cowboy candy that I make. I'm sure we'll be making that together before the summer is out, but that's what this really reminds me of, the base of it. We are up to a nice rolling boil, so we're going to get these cucumbers and onions added in here. Now, because this has turmeric in it, I didn't really think about it, but it might discolor your spatula. This is an enameled skillet or pot, so it should be okay, but just be aware of that if you're using something you might not want to use your best, or something that's not going to hold up super well or could discolor like this. This is just from Dollar Tree, so I'll go get another one. We're going to let this come back up to a boil again, then turn it off the heat and get it in jars. My jars kind of got cool after we ran them through the sanitizing cycle, so the good news is they're nice and clean. I'm just warming those up again, and this spoon is getting kind of flimsy as I go. But I do kind of want to break up some of these onions that I noticed are still together. So yeah, I'll get that done while this comes up to a boil, and then we'll be ready for jars. This is back up to a pretty decent boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off and move this over, and then I've got the jars ready to go. Okay, this is pretty much ready to go now. I'm gonna, I think, add mostly pickles now, and then I'll come back in and add the liquid, but I'm not using a slotted spoon, so it's not like no liquid's getting in here. Well, there's some liquid for it. These need to go to, let me double check. Yeah, these are a 1/2 inch headspace. This is a sticky solution that we're working with, and no, it's playtime over there for the dogs. So anyway, I'm going to get these filled up. I don't know exactly how many jars it's going to take, since I didn't measure really carefully to begin with on that I started out with the right amount. So anyway, let me get this done. I'll see how much we come back with, and then we'll get them in the canner. Right, so we wound up with 6 pint jars total. That's actually a little less than I expected we were going to get. The recipe said that we would get about 7, and I thought that we had done way more than the recipe, but we did also leave off a lot of those onions. The recipe called for 8 onions to be used, and we didn't do all that. So I've got our lids here ready to go on. I have the canner processing behind you guys, and I'm going to get these. Ooh, these are so hot. I'm going to get the lids on here, and we're going to get them in the canner. These only have to process for 10 minutes on a water bath can, which is super nice. And hopefully we have a good success rate. We'll see what happens. Well, y'all, we did it. We got 6 jars of our bread and butter pickles canned up. They're behind me, they're out of the canner, and I hear them popping. So I'm super excited. We did have this little jar that didn't fit in the big one, so I just put this in the fridge. We all tasted it. We loved them, so I'm really excited to have these, and I can't wait. I will link this, or I'll type out this recipe down below. I don't think it's got a link, but anyway, I will share the recipe that I used down below loosely. Follow the directions. Don't be like me. These are outstanding. I cannot wait to have these on like great bacon and tomato sandwiches this summer. We're really into those right now. We also got some Cajun turkey at the Mennonite store today, and some honey oat bread. These bread and butter pickles are going to be phenomenal on that tomorrow. My jars are popping. I hope you guys have a great night. Leave me a thumbs up or any comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.